everyone. Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Live from snowy Wisconsin. That is right. The snow is back. So much for spring, or the early spring, or whatever. Winter's back, and it sucks. Cold and snow. But anyway, we're here now. The weekend's kicking off, so let's do it like we always do. Raise up those cups. And here's to everyone. Happy Friday night Live, whatever. Cheers. Friday. But, yeah, last night about 10 o'clock, it started to snow. And all week it's been kind of cold. And now I think we got about 4 inches. So, just enough to make it a pain in the butt. Timon once again was first on the chat this morning when I put up the placeholder. Good evening, Timon. And who else? Mountaintop Outdoors is here. Larry and Robin, good evening. Oh, we got all kinds of people rolling in. And we have a special guest that is going to be joining us here shortly in a little bit. I didn't get to go through the chat at the pre-show chat, so I didn't see who everyone's guesses were. But you will find out momentarily, and it should be a pretty good time. So once you find out who it is, get your questions ready. And if you're new here, if you have a question, whoa, they just all flew by here. There is a question like this from James. Who is going to Ohio Joe's? I am going. We'll be discussing the events going on all over. There was another. Hey, Tim and Old Saws, Jeremiah Outdoors in 608, Log Cabin Firewood, Captain Jack is here. Stuck in Philly for overtime for the weekend. Ooh. Nebraska Woodster. How is it going? You got all kinds of stuff going on. New stuff coming into the yard, taking over other firewood companies in the area, expanding. I tell you, that was looking good down there. Looking good down in Nebraska. I missed a question. Daniel Atkins, I saw your name fly by with Q's. Oh, right here. If I send you $30, could you send me a box of mini uglies? No. The mini firewood, there's nothing ugly about it. It's beautiful, clean, perfect little sticks. There's no uglies. Ralph Carnegie, I'm doing good. How are you doing? All right, so let's see here. Whew, I am falling behind already, and we're not even into when the chat will probably get going once we get our special guest on here. Munson Firewood, first time doing a live stream. Well, welcome. Munson Firewood. These, I don't know if you guys have checked out or saw this channel out there. They just I think they started not too long ago. A couple of young woodhounds just going to town in their wood yard and selling wood like crazy. So if you haven't, check out Munson Firewood. Let's see here. What was James Baton? That's right. I handle it every day. Mr. Neighbor Doug, One Eye Customs. 5-way, 5-way, 7-way. Yes, the Battle of the Box Wedges. If you didn't see yesterday's video, and again, there was still a lot of confusion over the naming of those box wedges and whether or not the top wedge is considered a split. But you know, it has to be because it splits the wood. So it's I can understand though how it's, when you think of the slots in the box wedge, the top doesn't count, but I mean, Club Dora, Mount Tammany Ridge, Jay Jones, and all the way from Michigan. I almost said Ohio. Mr. Saw Surgeon, putting you in the wrong state. Stanley Keith, good evening. So yeah, it was just that video. I don't know. I wanted to do that video a while ago, but at the time, I just didn't have a need to switch out the wedges. And being that I was up at Rick's, came back. I had the 7-way in. I wanted to put the 5-way in, and I was like, let's just run one round and see the difference. Which was kind of the funny thing was, is a lot of people thought that the 7-way split faster than the 5-way, and I've always had the 5-way split much faster, just because there's less resistance, there's less wedges. But yeah, there was a lot of people saying that the 7-way split faster. So I don't know. And a little later on, we might do some, we might do some trivia. I don't know. I did mention a pop quiz, but it might be something different than what you're thinking. Mr. Scheib, outside with Scheib, good evening. I am falling. Spicer Design, good evening. Shotlift Family Firewood. Yeah, we got a lot of people in here. And I didn't even announce this special guest was coming on tonight. But we've got a good crowd here. So this will be good. Should be a good time. What length bar do you run on your 500i? That would be the 25-inch bar. Light bar. 25 light. Arnie Carlson's here. Yes, indeed he is. Hey, I thought you weren't going to make it, John. Well, it's good to see you here. It is good to see you. I thought you were I thought I saw that you weren't going to be able to make it and you would miss out on the test, but we won't give you a test. We'll just keep it simple. Yarding around. Have you had any issues with the wood boiler this season? Other than a lot of creosote buildup from the mild temperatures that we've had, that's been about it. And I don't know if you remember back to that one video I did where I cleaned out the ashes and there was like almost like a tar, like just a big chunk of like soft tar. And somebody in the comments told me that, when you don't run, if you're not running your cycles as often as you normally do, like in a regular cold winter, that stuff can build up like that. And so that's the only thing that I've noticed this winter is it hasn't been cold, and I haven't been, the length between cycles of the fan kicking on and off has just been long. So it just sits in there and smolders and poof. Wild Bill Irwin, good evening. I saw something fly by here about, yes, we are going to be doing another giveaway tonight. But it may be, well, I got something figured out I'm going to do because I only have 2 sizes of shirts, a large and an XL. But I might throw in, or I might just do the other thing. So we'll get to it. we'll get to it later on. Speaking of getting to things, let's get to we might have to do the guess, the number guess. Yeah. All right. One more question here. Tessa Johnson, is that log lift on a splitter worth the money over splitting or cutting big rounds in half? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because number one, you can use it for like a staging table. So you can put a whole bunch of smaller rounds on it and have them staged, and you can lift up the big ones. I don't know. I don't like noodling or ripping rounds in half. I just think it's hard on the saw. And the other thing is, when you do have a bigger round and you split it in half or in quarters, the log lift can act as a place to then take and set the wood when you're resplitting it. So I think a log lift is absolutely a feature if you can. Get it, have it, whatever. I use it a lot. All right. So let's get hey, I just seen this fly by, and I don't know if this cup over here, what's going on with it. I don't know if this coin's going to drop, but I'm going to just bring this up right now. Matthew, with a super sticker, the winking face. Thank you very much. Cheers. Yeah, I don't know, this dang cup is like broke. But all right. If you all are ready, let's go ahead and welcome tonight's special guest here, Friday Night Live, all the way from Merrill, Wisconsin. And also you may know him from Wolf Ridge Manufacturing, Mr. Bob Nelson. Good evening, Bob.
Good evening, Dan. Good evening, everybody else. How you guys doing tonight?
I think we are. Well, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Aside from the snow, I'm doing pretty good. I guess I would have been fine if today was all we were getting, but we're supposed to get more this weekend. And
what?
I was ready. Did you not know that?
No.
Sunday, there's another wave coming through. Yeah. So it's it'd be nice if I don't know. We had a good taste of some spring weather, and it was fun to work out in the yard and get some things done. And now we're back to winter.
Yeah. Well, first question right off the bat: do you have a cup, and what is in your cup?
Yes, I do actually. Check this one out.
That's a nice looking one right there.
And it has Jim Beam in it and Pepsi because I don't have Coke, but it's not diet. All right.
Well, we got to raise it up here because
okay.
Mr. Scheib just dropped a coin. Actually, I think he dropped two. So thank you, Scheib, and welcome, Bob. Cheers. So how are things going up at Wolf Ridge Manufacturing?
It's going well. We've been keeping really busy and keeping up with machine production, and I've been trying to get a lot of stuff out there for people to see on the social media side of things. We're going to be at a lot of shows this year, the normal shows, and then there's a couple of smaller ones we'll be at too. And part of tonight's thing is a big announcement that a lot of people have been asking about. Can you guess what it is? I know that the chat is like maybe 30 seconds behind, right? Something like that. Is that how far behind it is?
Behind a little bit, but not too much.
Okay. Well, we are going to do the Firewood Frenzy again. So last year it didn't happen. This year it's going to happen. So we are going to have that on June 22nd. It's a Saturday. It's going to run from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's going to cost $0 to go to. Hopefully it doesn't rain, but I think that you said if you were planning it, it would rain. So we'll make sure we have a big tent or two in case it does rain. But it's going to be the Midwest Firewood Frenzy and Wolf Ridge Demo Day. It's going to be a Wolf Ridge only event. We're going to have a bunch of our products there, and hopefully a lot of you guys.
So the Firewood Frenzy, June 22nd.
Yes. Save the date.
There was there was somebody asking last week about when and if it was. So I wanted to bring you on to get that info out there.
Yeah. We don't have like an event information posted about it yet, but we will. And all of our other events I have listed on Facebook under the featured section. So if you go to the featured section, you'll see all of the events listed that we're going to be doing. At least the ones that they're listed up until the end of May right now.
Ooh, wow! So, yeah, you're going to be a busy guy because things are kicking off kind of early.
Yeah.
Where are you all going?
April 6th, we've got we're going to be going to Phil Anderson's place in Clear Lake. He has a bunch of Wolf Ridge stuff. He's got a SHO splitter, 2 32-foot conveyors there, 2 of them, and he's got a skid steer splitter. We'll probably bring another machine out there too to demonstrate. And he was kind of welcoming people just to see his operation, and people can exchange ideas and things like that. But we'll go and demonstrate some machines, and then after that, we've got the Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. So we'll be at that one, and then the first weekend in May is Northern Logger Show. Our dealer out there, New England Wood Splitter, will be working that one, but one of us will be there. And that same weekend, Hartville Hardware is having like a dealer day. So one of us will be there. And then, of course, we have Joe's event in, is that May 18th?
The International Firewood Expo.
Yeah. So we'll be there, and we'll have a bunch of splitters there too, and the guys from Hartville Hardware will actually be there too. And I know that they're bringing their new sawmills too. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on at Joe's deal. So it was really fun last year, and I don't know, it's gonna be a big event.
Yeah, it's and I will be at the International Firewood Expo at Joe's.
Yeah.
Somebody did. I did see a question fly by wondering if you were going to be at Joe's. So yes, indeed you are.
Yep. Yes. I myself will be, yes.
Yes, yep. You in person, Wolf Ridge, yes, and sir. You.
Yeah, they let anybody in there, so.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think he's still finalizing his guest list. He might have to.
Yeah.
He's got the walls around the place to keep out.
Yeah, we know how well that worked last year. People just climbed right over anyway. I'm hoping we can get the news reporter to come there again, and then you can go and make gestures on top of the wood pile again. That was a good time.
Yes, indeed. So I'm just scanning back. There was a question here. Does Wolf Ridge have any distributor in Eastern Canada?
Not at the moment. But if you do want, we can ship to Canada. So just send an email to the sales at wolfridgemfg.com, and it'll probably actually end up going to me, and then I can help you get all the information, all the prices, and the shipping quote and all that stuff.
All right, there you go. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, just throw them in the chat with a Q in front of it. We do have to raise up our cups right here to Feel Good Firewood. Big shout out to the Minnesota youngster for stacking 3 dump trailer loads of firewood on a processor we got from Bob. Nice. I'm thinking made on a processor we got from Bob.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Is that Scott? I wonder if that. Yeah. Cheers. Scott, if that's you, say it's Scott. Then I'll know.
I'm never good at names. I always have to use just the channel name because I forget people's names. Uh-oh. Is my sound? Everybody's saying my sound is bad.
The funny part about that is that earlier today when we tested this, you said mine was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way I can throttle mine down if I'm blasting everybody out of the room or something.
I don't know. I got my mic right here.
I don't have a
So
fancy studio like you, you know.
maybe I should go like this and bring it down. Is that better?
That sounded louder on mine. Now I have to turn mine down.
Oh,
That's good
I just
though.
I just don't like having a microphone in my face like this.
Yeah.
But let
Do
me
you have
know in the
meters?
chat. Bob's sound is louder. Oh my.
I'm not
Bob,
talking louder, I
Bob's
promise.
a loud talker. Now we got people saying the sound is fine. I don't know who to believe anymore. I tell you. All right. Um,
I'll say, hey, Scott said it's Scott. Hey, that's good to hear, Scott. I had he picked up his machine a couple years back when I was at the North Star Expo, and I saw somebody ask if we will be at North Star Expo, and yes, we will be there. But yeah, a couple years ago, he got his, and I remember there was a newscaster walking around there and got video of me running that machine, so that was kind of cool.
in here we have another question: is Wolf Ridge going to be adding a dealer in the Oklahoma area?
Not to my knowledge. They're the closest to there would probably be Widman's in St. Louis. There, we would like to get somebody down in like Texas, Alabama, or Florida area. That is our next goal because we got East Coast, we got West Coast, we got Midwest, Central. Um, Getting something down in that southern area would be great.
Alabama? Jeez, you wouldn't think of down that way for firewood, but I know there's a lot of firewood down there.
Yeah, and there's machines. I mean, there's machines getting shipped on that way too. A lot, and it's interesting. And Texas is a totally different animal. I sold machines there before. Actually, I just we sold a vertical splitter um, to one of my old customers in Texas, and most of the stuff that they're dealing with,
Excuse me.
it's all mesquite, pecan, apple, and the stuff was like no more than 4 inches of straight section on a piece of wood. I mean, it was just constant screwy stuff, and we're really lucky here in Wisconsin what we can get.
Yeah,
We
that
want pulp logs. We just get these pencil straight stuff that we can easily make firewood out of.
and isn't mesquite kind of one of the harder? I mean, that's like one or two notches below Australian hardwood, I think.
Australia. Oh yes, yes. Australian is the hardest wood of all.
Can't be split.
Just
Nobody can
just
split it.
exactly. Just check the comments on any firewood video on Facebook or YouTube. You will see that your machine will fold up if it was in Australia. That is always.
So how are you? I know before you used to somewhat like be in the social media side of things, but I think that's kind of like part of your main role now. So do you find
It,
yourself
yeah.
like looking at comments and stuff like in a different lens now that it's not like your personal channel or something like that?
Well, yeah. It's some of the time. I mean, you get comments that. First of all, there's a lot of supportive comments, which is awesome. There always is, and that's cool. But you'll see some people just want to be miserable. And you can't fix that. That's what they want to do. They want to step on whatever you're doing. They want to try and belittle you. I'm serious. That is a thing. I mean, and it doesn't matter if it's firewood or if it's like a new truck ad or something like that. You'll see somebody just beating someone else down, and I think that they do it because they want a response. And sometimes you can respond to the people, and you can say something kind of in jest, and you can have a little fun with them, or you can just leave them alone. I know that you get that stuff too. I mean, it's like,
Well, but see,
but
that's like kind of what I'm wondering because I know you have your own channel, and like for me, when I reply to comments and I get, if I go heel, if I turn heel
yeah,
and start talking smack, it's only reflecting on me. We're like, now you are the face online of a
oh,
company
right,
and you're
right,
representing other, so like that's kind of like it's almost like a whole different mindset.
yeah, and I, in my last job too, I had to, you have to pick and choose your battles. You have to try to respond to some of that stuff um, without coming across as like angered or condescending or whatever. Like if somebody says something like, "Okay, that's slow," all right, then you can say, well, yes, this has a whatever second cycle time. What do you run or something like that. You can pose a question, and usually
What is
those people that
fast
are
to
making,
you?
yeah, usually those people, well, it's faster with an axe, all that stuff, and it's like, um, you see that stuff, and it's just kind of like, okay, a lot of
Yeah.
it I just leave alone. But you're right, I'm not going to come out the gate and start cursing someone out or something like that, and that's not me anyway. It's just not. It's not worth the time.
I saw a question. Are there any plans for a diesel powered splitter? I think there is one
Yeah,
version, the
we
big
do have. Yeah, so the 35
industrial or
SHO,
something.
the 35 SHO you can get with the Kubota diesel. Same with the 35 HDI. There is actually a SHO diesel coming through the pipeline pretty soon here, and the guy is getting three different box wedges, and he gave me the green light to do some video work with it. So we're going to do a video with that machine, which is going to be great because we'll be able to show the diesel. And then he's getting the standard box wedge is 3.5 by 3.5. Then there's 4.5 by 4.5, 4 by 4, 3 by 3. So this guy is getting 3.5 by 3.5, 4.5 by 4.5, and 3 by 3. So I'm going to show all of those before that one heads out the door. And
So 3 and 3.5. So half an inch difference.
yeah, well, yeah, right.
Is
Yeah.
that even going to be noticeable?
Well, I mean, it's yes. They really want to get down to that small size for like the pizza wood or the smokers. We'll see. I'm going to do an actual comparison of it. When it comes out, I'll take a whole round, run it through the 3.5, stack it up, and do the same thing with the threes. So
it sounds like I just saw a video like that. I think where somebody took a couple box wedges and ran around through it.
Yeah, weird. Well, maybe I'm stealing your idea then. If you'd like, after I post it, you can yell at me in the comments section. Okay, I can handle it, Dan.
There's a little inside joke there as well we got going on.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a question. Can we get a dealer in central Canada? But I think you kind of answered that. You can ship to.
Yeah, we can ship to Canada, so that's not an issue. But eventually it would be nice to get some distribution up there, but that's a lot more figuring out yet before we get to that point.
Yes. All right. I saw another question, but I lost it now. So
lost it. You're losing your mind.
But it's almost the bottom of the hour, and I am going to refill here right now.
Is that like a 3 ounce? Is that like a 3 ounce cup you got there, or what's going on? I don't. You could tell me how big this one is, Dan. Is this 16 ounce? Come on.
That's 20. What are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
Okay, well it's half gone, so.
Yeah, well, I've got just enough left for one drink.
Nice. Hey, so Andy Stampley just said with oak, a half inch is 3 months off the drying time. So that's something I didn't think of either when doing those box wedge.
I thought it's an inch a year.
Is it? Well, so he said half inch is 3 months. So you're saying a half inch would be 6 months?
Well, see, this is the one thing is it inch a year, an inch from every side, or
I don't know.
Center
That's
out?
a good question. That's a good question.
We need some science.
Arnie Carlson asking about the box wedge made of special steel. Yes, they are. I don't remember what material it is, but I know that they're heat treated when they're welded, and then they actually get shipped out and get heat treated completely after they're welded before they get powder coated. So they go through quite a process.
And what's the standard? Is it 4 or 3.5?
3.5.
3.5 is your standard.
Yep, 3.5 by 3.5.
Oh boy, hang on. I just saw Mr. Nate out there, Firewood at the furnace. He's firing a shot over here with a coin in the cup. So once again, for those joining late or maybe that didn't hear it before, the Firewood Frenzy is on. Coming this summer, June. What did you say?
June 22nd, 8 a.m.
June
to 5 p.m.
Holy
And
crap!
like I said, oh.
We just had a Shibe's bombs worked. He dropped a bomb and it worked. So hang on, we're gonna get Firewood at the furnace. Brad, bottom of the hour, 3 more drops. That's pretty much exactly.
Oh,
what
you
was in
filled
there.
that one full. You filled that one full.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, what do you think this is? It's refill time.
Friday Night Live.
But hang on, we got one more because
okay.
Shibe.
No, I got that myself.
Firewood Frenzy 2024. Cheers.
So someone else. Let's see.
Thank you, Shibe. Thank you, Brad. Yeah,
the York Woods.
The inch a year, I know it comes from sawmills, but that's where I'm like, is it an inch? Like if you had a 4x4, would that be, an inch from the top, an inch from the side, inch from the, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So hey, maybe. Well, I can't pull the questions up, but this guy said OWB had talked about filling a niche with a small.
Yeah, I was just going to get to
that. So we have the 17 RS is $57.95 right now, and that you can get with a log lift or auto cycle. And I would say to get it with the log lift because you have auto return anyway, and it's so fast that the auto cycle instead of the log lift, just like you were mentioning before I came on, the log lift is huge because you don't want to be picking that stuff up and use it as a staging table and everything else. I
think it just comes in. You end up using it way more than you think.
Yeah, and there's nothing. I mean, we don't have anything under that 5,000 point. The thing that I've talked with Chris about too. He's if he's going to put his name on it, it's going to be something that's robust and high quality. And we're getting to the point where you have to cut corners somewhere to get under that price point, right? So what are you going to cut to make it
right?
To make it that point?
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Quality.
So it's hard. I'm not saying that that's not possible, but that's hard.
And yeah, I missed this earlier. It is the Firewood Frenzy is at the Wolf Ridge Manufacturing.
Yes, indeed. We have a very large area where the woodlot is, so it'll actually be behind the factory. And there's one thing I didn't mention. Chris was also talking about the potential to take tours of the factory. So I'm not sure how that's all going to pan out, but that might be an option as well.
Will that be on like a little trolley car system? Like
pulling it. Are you going to bring one?
That'd be kind of cool though, or like kind of like Jurassic Park where they have the train and you drive through and
those old Ford Explorers, we could use those.
You wouldn't want people like being able to like reach into like
well,
there's a lot of stuff going on in there.
And that's one of the cool things too. The stuff is like it's state of the art. So like the laser, if you get too close to there's a light curtain they call it. So if you break the curtain with your hand, then the machine stops. So it's an invisible curtain, and the press brakes in the same way, stuff like that. I see Mountaintop Outdoors says I have to get an orange cup, or I have an orange cup, but I have to get a blue one.
Yeah.
If I switch it out, but I'll give you guys a funny story. I got nothing against Easton Made either, but I went to buy sleds for my kids this Christmas, and the only 2 colors that they had left were blue and orange at the first place I stopped. I just thought it was kind of funny.
All right, we got to bring that up. Bob has an orange cup now, but blue. Get him a blue one. I got a blue one. I can get you too.
I would have to trade you.
Patty and Jeff,
trade them.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
I can arrange that. I think. Yeah, right here. As a matter of fact, I think. Ooh, look at that.
There you go. Yep.
if you put yours up right on the screen there.
Um. Okay, hold on. Hold on.
No, the one you had in your hand.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, so what is going to happen at the Firewood Frenzy? The doors open at, what did you say? The gates open at
8 o'clock.
so
So
8
basically, we're
o'clock.
just gonna, yeah. So we're gonna
9.
have.
What happens at 9 o'clock when I roll in pulling the 37D?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like that could go a bunch of different ways.
Ooh, make sure the cameras are rolling.
Yeah. Right.
We need some.
We
What
might
is
have
that
security.
called?
We might have security set up way out front, so you can't get to the Woodyard. You know, you could
Oh,
come around through the dog park.
that is a nice dog park back there, though. I gotta
Yeah,
say.
it's really nice when I'm trying to do video work back there, and there's somebody yelling at their dog, and
Or their dogs are barking.
yeah, that's always a good time.
All right. What is yeah, so just back to that whole an inch a year thing. And I think the inch a year was on only on oak. So I know some wood dries quicker than others. Like I think,
Yeah.
like maple dries really quick.
Well, yeah, ash if you can get it.
And ash is just low in moisture to begin with. But
Yeah.
I've always wondered that with like oak, like if you took a piece of firewood without any bark on either side, so like a center split off a box wedge,
Yeah.
that technically should dry pretty quick because it's getting an inch from each side,
Right. Yeah. You would think.
Who knows? Do people trade in splitters and sell used ones? Now, I don't know if this is happening this year, but I know at the last Firewood Frenzy that was up there, Chris did have some, I think, used machines for sale.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if
Right
that's
now, right now, that is not the case. I know there's been like we will do trade in stuff, but the way that the market is, it's so easy for someone to just put it on Facebook Market and sell it, for more than what we would offer on trade, and then just buy the new one. So it's the stuff has. I mean, there was a 20. Okay, so a new 28C is like 10,250, right? There was a 28C that was for sale at a pawn shop that was 4 years old, and it was $8,900. And we actually had a bunch of people calling the factory asking about it, saying like, well, what is this? What? And it didn't have like the Magnum package, didn't have the tall push block, it didn't have a whole bunch of stuff. But there were all kinds of people interested, and they sold it in like 2 weeks. I don't know what they sold it for, but at that point, $8,900, another $1,350 got you a brand new machine. So it just shows you, like, you know what I mean, like what
yeah.
the depreciation is on the machines. I mean, it's not much.
So
And
here's the next question then. If you don't have any used, will you have any new for sale at the Frenzy? Or what is the date people could order theirs to pick up at the Frenzy?
That is a good question. If you wanted to pick it up at the Frenzy, I would say that the order date has to be probably, let's see, would be like the first or second week of April would probably be the cutoff. We're
next
8 to 12 weeks. 8 to 12 weeks, depending on which machine it is. So yeah, but that's a really good point, actually, and I should put that in our marketing announcements too, because if somebody wants to
within the
pick up
next couple weeks, if you're thinking, if you plan to go to the Frenzy and you might want to save on shipping,
exactly.
Get a hold of Bob right now.
Yes, right now. While you're drinking, that's the perfect time to buy a new splitter.
That's the best time to negotiate any deal. Hey, WD-30 is here.
Hey.
And who else was rolling through here? Armin's High Life. Man, there's a lot of people stopping by here tonight to see you, Bob.
Oh, they didn't even know. Oh, see, someone else just said a used 28C with less than 100 hours up the road.
Hey,
I got for $8,500. Yeah.
Are you looking for a dealer in Florida? Because Tim said to give him a call.
Okay.
But I don't know if where he maybe Tim should just get a hold of you because I don't know how you would get Tim's number.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
Yeah.
Tim, if you want to I don't think you want to put your number out here in the chat.
Yeah.
But
Right. Yeah.
send
Best bet is to send an email to the sales at Wolfridge MFG. And then that would be that'll go to me or Ben, so we can touch base with you and figure something out.
yeah, so send an email, Tim. Let's see here. There was I always get a ways behind, but so you're in the beginning we were talking about the shows coming up.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing you're doing like the usual I think this year it's in Green Bay, September, and then Bunyan.
Yeah. So usually the show season is crazy in September. September you have GLTPA Expo, and that rotates from either Escanaba, Michigan or Green Bay. So it'll be in Green Bay this year. So we'll be at that one. Then we got North Star Expo. That's a smaller show. It's up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, but it's a really good show. And so we'll be at that one. And then the Paul Bunyan show, of course. In fact, I just booked all of our rooms. If anybody in here is still looking to go, I would suggest to book rooms now because they are all filling up. Like, there's nothing left at, I think, the Fairfield. Like a bunch of the hotels are fully booked already, which is crazy. Yeah. But
it gets pretty wild. I know that. Yeah. I think the Fairfield opened up where you could reserve it. I think it's 10 months out.
Yeah, I remember.
So like you're not able to reserve your room, for the next year when you're there. You have to wait like 2 months and then.
Yeah, I remember the live stream when you were talking about that, and it was finally open. I think everybody went that night and bought all the freaking rooms.
So Nick over on Facebook is wondering if I do not have the pizza wedge. I just have the standard 7 and 5-way box wedge. Somebody asked me that in the comments too. Any chance of opening a store in or around Pittsburgh?
We have Messick's Farm Equipment. We just set up in Pennsylvania. They've got 5 locations. I don't know what the nearest to Pittsburgh is, but their first load should be heading out probably, I think it's like the second week of April. And when that one goes out, I'll actually be heading down there also. So we'll do the dealer orientation with them. And then I think they got a bunch of the stuff on that first load is sold already. So.
Well, Pittsburgh can't be too far from Hartville, can it? A couple hours?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Because I know from Joe's, Pittsburgh is an hour, about a little over an hour, and then Hartville is, but maybe Hartville is the opposite direction. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I think there's
it's a couple hours because we always give like the dealers get like. I want to say it's at least 200 or 250 miles from Hartville to one of the Messick's locations because we try to give them a good distance, so that they're not right on top of each other. Because that, then nobody can do anything reasonable.
What kind of warranty do the machines come with? Do you know?
The machines have a 1-year warranty on the whole machine, and then the Honda engine and the Kubota engine it's separate from the machine. So basically, like if you had a 28C with a Honda engine on it and something happened with the Honda, you would take it to a Honda service center, and the engine warranties are 3 years. So, yeah, but if something happens, then we take care. We'll send you the parts. If something is out of your hands for replacing it, then it can go to a shop and we reimburse.
So those 3 wedges you were talking about before for the box wedge, those were custom, or do you offer custom box wedges?
So the standard one is that 3.5 by 3.5. You can order the 4x4. You can order a 3x3. You can order a 4.5 by 4.5. So those are like, I would call them production wedges. Like those are standard. Like we can build those ones. As far as custom ones go, I'm not sure. I saw that somebody had a request for like a 2x3, and I think that's getting built for testing. So,
ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see.
You better be running something nice and straight grain.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing is, it's like you wouldn't be able to take like a big diameter
Oof.
elm that's got a curve in it. You know what I'm saying? You have to put a decent quality log in it to begin with.
And that's one thing that, I mean, it's even like little things like if you had a log sitting, say, for 6, 8 months, and the end is like dried, and you try
Yeah,
putting that end through the wedge first,
yeah.
forget about it. Like,
Let me tell you something. I didn't even know about like that. That okay. Well, when I started doing any of this stuff, I was learning about wood. I didn't know about firewood. Identifying species of trees, all that stuff. But we sold, excuse me, a processor to a customer down in North Carolina. He was a super cool guy, and he was upgrading to that processor from an older box wedge splitter. I'm not sure which brand it was, but he was telling me, hey, like, look at he was in North Carolina. He had some nasty logs, like gray. The ends of them were like that. And he said, well, what he'll do, because you're always going to have a cut off or a cookie, when you're processing
yeah,
the wood. So he was like, cut that off first. Cut that first 5 or 6 inches off because you're gonna waste it at the end anyway. And sure enough, all of that, the splitting goes so much easy.
yep. It's the little things. They
Yeah.
matter. The little things matter.
Um, Doug had a question.
Yep. I saw that, and now I'm trying to
Okay.
scroll back to it.
I saw that. I was going to ignore it.
I saw it, and then it flew by, and it was long. Because what kind of market studies are done to tell how many splitters are sold a year and needed? They don't get wrecked on the highway. They are around a long time.
That's a good question. And this is something that we were talking about the other day. And it's an interesting thing because at some point you would think, like, okay, everybody has a commercial log splitter now. Nobody else needs them, right? Or you could use that analogy with anything. And I'll go back to when my father and I started a lawn and garden equipment dealership in our small town, 10,000 people. We brought in tractors that were $1,500, garden tractors, $1,500, $1,800, and it was like, okay, these are, it gets to a point where you're like, well, I don't know if I'd buy that. It's getting pricey, and then the next step up was the $2,800 ones, the $3,500 ones. We started bringing those in. People were buying them. One guy came in and he wanted to buy a 61-inch zero turn, and it was $5,000. And we were both kind of like, man, like that's a lot to spend on something that just mows the grass, like, and it was just a normal, like, the guy had maybe like an acre and a half or something. It wasn't like a commercial cutter or anything like that. So he bought that zero turn from us, and then while we had it in there, somebody else came and looked at it, and they were like, wow, So then someone else ordered it, and then someone else ordered it. Well, the next summer we sold 21 of those $5,000 zero turns, and it was like, like you get in that same industry, or in that industry, I had the same thought after like the first or second year. I was like, man, like, what are we going to do after everybody in the town has a new riding mower?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to be able to sell anything, but everything, it just keeps going. People get older, things get retired. New people buy homes and want to start doing the lawn cutting. I mean, I'm using lawn mowing now as a reference, but it's the same thing with firewood. I think there's a lot of people getting into that industry, and growing in this industry, but also there's people that are buying these machines that aren't even producing huge amounts of wood. They just want to buy something that's quality that they don't have to worry about, and maybe they're older and they'll hand it down to their kids and their grandkids.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
that was a very long answer for that. Sorry about that, but that
Well, no,
was,
I think it's a good point though. I mean, it's I think you can look at it in almost any, whatever lawnmowers, tractors,
yeah,
skid steers, mini excavators, log
yeah,
splitters. It just, yeah, you think in your mind like at some point everyone that wants one is going to have one, but then again,
yeah, right.
there just seems to be more people wanting them, or
And Chris was saying too, when he was at the old shop, somebody had a skid steer in there, and it was a it was Bobcat skid steer, and it had a sticker on the side of it that said, 1 millionth bobcat, the year of the 1 millionth bobcat. It's like there's a million bobcats out there. You know how much money a bobcat is? I mean, like it's
Yes, I do.
the same. It's the
A
same thing.
lot.
You'd be like, you're thinking like, okay, imagine if you're selling those things, and it's like at some point you would think like everybody has enough of these, right? But
Yeah. I just want I just saw Mom and the
James,
boys, and they were the ones wondering about the frenzy. So one more time,
oh yes,
give they just got here. So
okay,
give the rundown on the frenzy, and I'm gonna get ready to do this quick little giveaway.
okay, sounds good. So the Firewood Frenzy will be at Wolf Ridge Manufacturing on June 22nd, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We will be demonstrating Wolf Ridge log splitters. We'll probably have a couple conveyors there. We will have a tent to cover us in case it's raining. We will have at least one food truck there to buy food from. It is going to be zero cost to get into the event, and I'm hoping we can get a couple of these big time hobbyists in, like Dan from Back 40. Hoping we can get him there, and yeah, it should be a good time. It's going to be in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, at the Wolf Ridge factory. Behind Wolf Ridge, there is a pretty decent sized Woodyard, and we'll have everything back there set up. So,
All right. So Mom and the boys, there you go. Mark your calendars.
it's going to be a gathering for all of the hobbyists.
Well, now there's hobbyists and then there's professional hobbyists.
Oh, there's two kinds.
Yes.
What does it take to be a professional hobbyist? I am GFY certified. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, you can be
Dan,
one or the other.
we don't have to offend anybody because it just means good for you. We know that it's the hobbyist. It's good for you to be the hobbyist. That's
Yes.
the GFY.
Good for you.
Exactly.
All right. So, are you good to hang out for a little bit? We'll do this giveaway and then we'll just go into overtime and.
Yep, sounds good, man.
Keep the party going. All right.
Yes, I'm gonna step away and refill. Okay.
All right. You do that. Back. So all right. I know I was gonna do the whole like pop quiz on the video yesterday. Oh, hang on. I gotta mute Bob. He's doing something crazy back there. But here's the trivia question. I'm going to throw this one out there to see if anybody gets it that was watching the video that came out yesterday. And if nobody does, we'll just do the pick a number, 1 through 40. But here is the question. What animal and how many were in yesterday's video? Did anyone notice any animals? And if you did, how many did you notice? Now, you can say no, there weren't any. But did you see any animals? And if so, how many in the video?
Dan, the only animal I saw was you.
I do not count. Oh boy. Well, people are guessing the right, but not exactly. One woodhound. Shive. All right. We will do instead. That was just the warm up. That was just the warm up trivia. So what we're gonna do? One loon. Yes, indeed. All right. So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna have to take you off the screen for a little bit when we do this. But
okay.
Now,
sounds
just
good.
Just remember, you can only guess one number. So don't be guessing multiple, because if I see multiple numbers come through on your name, then you're out of here. You're out of the drawing or the giveaway. And what we're giving away? We're going to give away the sticker pack, a patch, and a tumbler color of your choice. Blue, orange, navy, red. Blue, orange, navy, red, black, or olive green. All
Somebody
right.
take the blue one so it doesn't go to me.
WD-30. What? What? Or who guessed 69? Your guesses have to be 1 through 40. 1 through 40. One cougar. I have not seen a cougar in the Woodyard for a long time. You might see her tomorrow, though. All right, so we're gonna go. Remember, 1 through 40, make one guess. 1 through 40, one guess for the sticker pack, the patch, the tumbler, and maybe a little something extra. All right, we are gonna close the drawing or the entry, right? And then what I do is I search, and whoever picked that number first, if there's duplicates, you're going to be the winner. All right, so right there. All right, everyone, get your guesses in. Make only one guess. 1 through 40, pick a number. Geez. And remember, don't pick more than one number, because if I find you picking multiple numbers, you're out. All right, there we go. The drawing, the entry, the giveaway is closed. I'm flipping over right now. We're going to pick the number, and we are going to see who the winner is. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, spinning the wheel. And the winning number is 35. 35. But I think somebody just picked that. Let me search. Let me search. Oh, we have a winner right here. The first to pick 35. Ron, I think is it Gisler? Gisler? Ron, you just won. So you need to let me know what color tumbler you would like. Red, black, navy, green, orange, or blue. There you go. What color would you pick if you had one, Bob? Blue?
I already told you I hope someone picks the blue. I really like the orange, because the orange goes with the Husqvarna or the steel. And I know Husqvarna is not a word that. Yeah, exactly.
The
Husqvarna is not a word that I'm supposed to use around you, but I have to.
All right, so Ron, I gotta throw this up here. Email me. Where is my email address? There we go. Email me what color you want, and we will get that out. All right. So now there was just a question on what size do you call pizza wood? I think anything under is it 3 inches?
I feel like it varies because some people they want stuff that's 2 inch. It's crazy, and how long do you cut it to for that? Because I see people are getting shorter and shorter too with lengths for the pizza wood.
Well, yeah, depending, I think, on your pizza oven. I mean,
here's a question for you: are you selling any of your mini wood stuff? Are people buying it for pizza ovens?
I don't know what they're buying it for, but it would make perfect and great pizza wood oven. Pizza or wood. Yes, I was just gonna say, depending on the size of your pizza oven, if you want 5-inch pieces, let me tell you, there is this stuff called Back 40 Mini Firewood.
You
You
know,
would have the best pizza wood for your pizza oven around.
have you seen the little uni pizza ovens? I feel like that would be the ideal thing for that because they're not that big, so you can't. It's not a huge domed thing. It's a little pizza oven that you use on your patio.
I
That
have
would be
not seen.
interesting.
I have not seen those.
I wonder. You should put on your website like, what are you buying this for? Are you buying it for a pizza oven or a small? Do some market research.
They're buying it to be cool, Bob.
Yeah.
Is the beam
Yes.
flex on the 17VS part of the design?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
That is something that I noticed as well, and I asked about it, and it's perfectly normal. You'll see it in. It doesn't
what is it?
show.
Explain what that is for those who might not know.
Well, the splitter beam is. I don't know, and I should know what thickness it is, but basically, when there is a really challenging spot or whatever on that log, the stand up beam on the VS will torque a little bit, but it's designed that it can handle that flexing. It shows up for whatever reason. It's kind of like the engine shaking on like your log splitter. Like it doesn't look like anything in person, but when you video it, people will be like, "Why is your engine loose?" It shows up more on video, which doesn't make sense to me, but it does. You'll see it if you watch like Lily's Farm and Firewood. Sometimes when he's doing really big rounds, you'll see a little bit of flex in that beam.
Hmm.
But yes, it's normal and it's built to withstand that. I would implore you to look at part one of our how it's made how it's made segment that we put up this last Wednesday, because the 17 VS beam is the first thing that we did on there.
Saw
Hey, thank you,
Surgeon
Sauce Surgeon.
is heading out. Have a good weekend. Let's see. Yeah, I think sometimes it's I don't know what it is about things on camera. I think the frame rate like allows stuff like that to be seen, like the shake of the air
Yeah,
filter, and if you
yeah.
do
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, those engines, especially like if you watch like a Honda engine running, it looks normal in person, but if you video it, it looks like the whole air filter and carburetor is going to fly off of it.
Yeah. Oh, so Jimbo 505. The answer was 2 deer. There were 2 deer in the background that walked up on the hill behind me. It was pretty hard to see them, but I didn't know if anybody noticed them or not, but obviously no one did. People were guessing deer, but there's always deer. There's always deer around the Woodyard. But yeah, there was 2 deer that like were kind of just walking up on the hillside behind me. Neighbor Doug.
Oh,
I I always worry when I want to design a wedge for small wood like Dan is doing. Is Wolfridge doing anything for this market? A slip-on wedge.
no comment. um, we are doing something for that market, but it's not a slip-on wedge, and that's all I can say.
Oh. I can make a comment, but I will not.
No, go for it. I can
In
handle
reference in it at neighbor Doug.
Oh.
I was just gonna say I don't know if he's thinking of a different on instead of a slip on.
Anything's possible. He invited us to stay at his place for Joe's event, just so you know.
Oh well. Oh. It's always fun razzing neighbor Doug. It's good though because he dishes it out just as much as he takes it. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well, if we do go there, he'll have to take you on a UTV ride again because I
No.
know That you had? No, I know you had fun.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Oh, but all right. It is. We'll go a little bit longer. Brad, have a good weekend. I think there was a few other people that were maybe tuning in or turning in for the night. I'm gonna mix one more round to wrap things up. Anything else that we haven't covered that you wanted to mention about anything happening? Any? I
No,
know
we covered. There's
the
a lot.
frenzy is the big one.
Yeah, the
That
frenzy's a big one. There's a lot of events going on. I think you got uh, some stuff coming up, and we'll just have to wait and see.
yeah. So
Uh,
you're gonna be at the Hoosier Hysteria. I can't
yes,
make it to that one.
yes,
Um,
we'll be
we'll
there, and
both be
we'll have a 17 VS there. So
we'll both be at the International Firewood Expo at Ohio Woodburners
yes,
Woodyard,
yes,
and
and
then
we have to make sure to not arrive too early because you know what happens if we do that.
yes, yes, indeed. In fact, that's what. Yeah, we have to definitely make sure to, and bring your gloves if you're you gotta have your
Yes,
gloves there. Oh,
yes,
you mentioned another. What was you had April? I think you. Oh, early April you had
at
Phil's.
Phil's. Yep,
Yep, and
Phil
then
Anderson's place.
there
And I
was
put
something
all these.
the first week
So
of May.
yeah, the first week of May is the Northern Logger Show in Vermont, and that one rotates from Bangor, Maine, or Essex Junction, Vermont. So this year it's in Essex Junction, Vermont, and that is going to be our dealer, New England Wood Splitter, working that one. But one of
Oh,
us will be there with him as well. And then that same weekend, there's a thing at Hartville Hardware. And at Hartville Hardware, after the week after Paul Bunyan, they have their big, not like Woodsman Field Days sort of thing. So that's a pretty cool event. Last year, they gave away a Wolfridge splitter at that one.
I
That
was
was
just
pretty
gonna
cool.
say that. Yeah, didn't last year they raffled off a splitter.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy. Uh, that was before I was with Wolfridge, but I was at that one.
Did you sell the lift?
I did. I
What was
think
the lift?
I think I had a car hoist listed on Facebook Market. I think that's probably what he's asking about, car lift. And
Oh,
then I because I bought it without a place for it really like a year ago, and then I decided to sell it. So I bought pallet forks. So now I got pallet forks for out at the Woodyard, but I can't lift an IBC tote because the tractor's too light. So now I have to get weight in the back of the trailer or back of the tractor. So
too light or not
yeah,
enough power?
too light. It'll pick it up, but it'll the back end will come off the ground. So you have experience with that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Also with the tractor.
that's a nice, nice.
That was for you,
That's
neighbor
a
Doug.
question.
Neighbor
That's a
Doug.
question I have for you.
What?
When are you getting a new piece of equipment? Are you getting a new tractor first, or are you going to get one of those articulated loaders, or what do you? If you were going to do something, would it be a new tractor first, or would it be like a loader, or
Well, I've thought about trading the tractor in, but then I fear that I might have a need for it. So I have to make sure that whatever I would replace it with could do everything it has done
okay,
and more.
yeah,
Because there are actually a lot of like options.
oh yeah, right,
I mean, it's like there's mini skid steers, there's the stand behind, there's
yep.
loaders. Um, I
I
don't
like
know.
watching Matt at Lily's Farm and Firewood. He's got that MT100, that little you know walk behind, or it's a ride on
Yeah,
a mini skid steer. That thing is awesome.
yeah.
But I don't think it'd be able to lift an IBC tote, and that would be a deal breaker for me. It'd be nice to be able to get in everywhere,
Yeah,
but I don't know that it would lift that tote,
but see, and that's the thing though that I've realized is like I just need to move totes that are loosely tossed in up to the
So then they're not
woodshed.
then they're
I
not as
don't
heavy.
I don't need to load them onto a truck. Well, not yet anyway.
Yeah.
And so my biggest thing would be lifting up logs and moving them around. But if the log's too heavy, I can just cut it and make it lighter. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, and this is here's the one thing.
Do not
A
get rid of your
trailer.
tractor.
Huh? Who said?
I just see someone said, "Do not get rid of your tractor."
Yeah, it would be tough to do that. I mean, because the only thing though is like, it just, like I said, there's things out there that do everything it does and more. And so
Yeah.
what I'm using it for, like, I'm not using it for its, as a tractor. I just move stuff around with the forks and the bucket.
Yeah, that's a fair point, right? Well, that articulated loader that you had, that was pretty good, right?
Mm,
Okay,
heck yeah.
that answers that.
So was the price tag on it though.
Yeah.
That was like 3 tractors.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But, I don't know. There's always, I don't know, I don't like to get into the, I don't, it's just, because like my tractor right now, I'm almost like thinking if I keep that and then like add the third function and get a grapple, now I can do more with what I
Yeah.
have instead of just getting, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and the other side of it too is if the tractor's paid for, adding those extra couple features to it, so what then?
Yeah, right.
Whereas if you got to go buy something that's twice as much and then you have to finance it, and then it's, I don't know, like.
Yeah, and then like a mini excavator is, if all I'm really worried about is moving logs, like that is the cat's meow for picking logs up and bucking them, but then that doesn't bring IBC totes to my woodshed.
Right.
So
right.
then you give and you take.
That mini excavator is probably twice the price of what your tractor is anyway. So then
easily.
Then you kind of lose something too,
Yep. And I don't. James was asking about a trailer, and I have no desire to like get into bulk wood or back trailers up, dump trailer this, dump trailer that. I'm not a trailer guy.
It opens up a whole new market though to sell stuff.
Nah. I'm focusing the other direction.
Yeah.
From not in bulk in small bulk.
Fair enough. Hey, Joe has a question here about people bringing splitters to Joe's place. I am not sure. I don't think there's an issue, with him bringing these to me there, but I don't know that Joe is having people bring their own stuff. Is he or not?
I would say to email him.
Yeah, that's probably the best idea.
I know that he's having.
I don't know how much space he's going to have. That's my only thing.
Yeah. And I know that the places or like companies that are coming are also bringing machines, but that's like, like you're bringing splitters from Wolf Ridge. So I don't know if there's any like private owned splitters coming in.
See, last year there was, but last year there was only, I don't even know, there was only 2 or 3 companies there, Now this year there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, so.
Yeah, he's taking it to it's international, man.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have my rear tires loaded with beet juice.
And that's what I need to do to mine too. And I don't know. I could probably do it myself if I wanted to, but then it's, do I have to go buy a pump and a bunch of other stuff that I'm going to use one time and then it just sits around? That's you know what I'm saying? Oh, yep. I'll use this someday.
But is there a dealer nearby that you can take it to?
Oh yeah, we could. Yeah. I had at my last place. I had Southside Tire came out. They drove out to us and they filled them.
Oh,
So
well then there you go.
that was kind of nice.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah, there's yeah, I've kind of thought about a few things, but I don't know, you just start getting down these rabbit holes and then
Yeah, right.
like and it's not so much like, you're I don't like having my attention like in that direction, because then it's like it becomes like consuming, like you're always comparing, contrasting, and
Uh
I
huh.
don't know.
Hey, you know what? I heard a good one the other day, and I guess it's here's my words of wisdom. If you're comparing yourself to someone else or to something or whatever, anything, comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. Just something to
Ooh.
think about. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even just as much, I mean, like even just taking your focus away from, you know, like creating content, like it's just
Yeah.
I don't like it. But every now and then I do surf online and I'm like, oh, that
Hmm.
thing's pretty cool. Like there are these like the stand behind mini skid steers, right? Or the
Yeah.
stand on, but they
Yeah.
also make these little track like trailers that you can drive around and dump.
Oh
Like,
yeah, yeah. I've seen those.
yeah. So I'm like, man, that would be, because that's really what I need, like something to take the wood from where I split with the, and then just move it to where I want to stack it. And here's
Yeah.
this little drivable wagon that like dumps. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah, it's
that
basically
is,
like a big powered wheelbarrow.
yeah, a big one. All right. I know it's getting late. Uh-oh, but Todd's outside again. Just got here.
Hey Todd, how's it going?
Todd's outside again. Yeah, he's probably was uh sipping on some White Claw out in the garage, looking at his wood pile. Oh, anyway, I've kept you here long enough, and I need to. I got a big day tomorrow. Um, we got to go see the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, nice.
Little Boss Man is a big Ghostbuster fan, so he's been waiting all week to go see this movie. And so tomorrow we got to do that, and then I got some other stuff going on, and always
Well,
stuff.
hey, do this for him. Do you use the Waze app for GPS? Have you heard of it before? Waze.
No.
Okay, WAZE. It's a navigation app like Google Maps or Garmin or whatever. But right now you can pick. So your car will be what is the name of the station wagon that they have? You know the
I don't know.
that whatever that car is, the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters car.
Yep.
Um, so you can set that as the car, and then I think the navigation voice you can set as Ray. So if you really want to impress
Nice.
him, get that app and then use that to navigate to the movie theater.
Well, it's only like 7 miles away. So.
Well, I know, but I mean,
But all right. Well, Bob, thank you for
thank
joining
you.
us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Again, Firewood Frenzy. You'll have information up on your,
Yes, Facebook next week. I'll make an event post and we'll have it there.
and you'll probably be mentioning it in your videos coming out.
Yes. Yep. We'll make sure to keep everybody posted about it, and yeah, hope to see as many people as possible there.
All right. And I believe I will be making the trip there. Not too
All
far
right.
away.
Yeah, it's a pretty long drive for you. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get up pretty early and head up there.
Yeah.
But thanks once again, and thanks
Yes,
everyone
thank
for
you.
tuning in. Yeah, well, you want to hang around for the outro?
Sure. I don't know
Okay.
what does it mean. What do we have to do here?
You just sit there and look interested.
Okay.
Look like you just are having a great time. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Thanks to all the super chatters, for the coins in the cup moderators. Thanks for keeping things in line. And we will see you all next Friday night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool. Cheers, everyone. Good night.
I've got a ton of gravel in my shoes, world on my shoulder, heart full of blues. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to calm down with the morning light. I'm in the dirt, down in the dirt. Been a real bad boy. I've been a real bad boy on the town all night. Starting to